بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعنه أنه قال: أتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رجل أعمى فقال: يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، إنه ليس لي قائد يقودني إلى المسجد. فسأل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن يرخص له ويصلي في بيته، ورخص له. فلما ولى دعاه فقال: هل تسمع النداء في الصلاة؟ قال: نعم. قال: فأجب. رواه مسلم. There from uh, from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said that a blind man came to Nabi Karim Sallam. It is Abdullah bin Maktoum, right? So he said, "Oh, Nabi Akram Sallam, indeed, I don't have a guide who will guide me to the masjid." So he asked Nabi Akram Sallam to allow him that he recites Salah in his house. So Nabi Akram Sallam gave him permission. But when he turned around, Nabi Akram Sallam called him and asked him, "Do you hear the azan for Salah?" He said, "Yes." And he said, "Then respond." Now in Bukhari Shareef in Sahih, in Bukhari and Muslim, right? It's mentioned there that Utban bin Malik radiallahu anhu, also blind. He also made a similar complaint, and Nabi Karim Sam gave him permission to recite his salah at home. So from this, from that hadith, you understand that there is permission for the blind person not to come to the masjid. However, in this hadith here, we say that Abdullah ibn Maktoum, Nabi Karim didn't give him permission because he was from the senior muhajirin, you understand? And therefore, it was more appropriate for him to come to the masjid because of his status, right? When Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu qala annahu adhana bis-salati fi laylatin ذات برد وريح ثم قال ألا صلوا في الرحال ثم قال إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يأمر المؤذن إذا كانت ليلة ذات برد ومطر يقول ألا صلوا في الرحال متفق عليه. Nazeem ibn Umar said that he gave azan for salah on a night which was cold and windy. Then he said, "Behold, read salahs at home." Then he said, indeed, Nabi Akram used to command the muazzin when it was a night which was cold and rainy. He would say that, "Behold, recite salahs at home." All right. So this shows here now that it is permissible, right? That when it is very cold and heavy rain, then you are allowed to make your salah at home. However, Ibn Umam radiallahu anhu rahmatullahi quotes that Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullahi once asked Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi that when it is muddy, when the roads are muddy, can we read the salah at home? So he says, I do not like to miss the Jamaat salah. I do not like to miss the Jamaat salah. So if it's a little bit light rain and it's not so muddy, then a person can come. But Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu qala qala Rasulullah sallam إذا وضع عشاء أحدكم وأقيمت الصلاة فابدأوا بالعشاء ولا يعجلوا حتى يفرغ منه. وكان ابن عمر رضي الله عنه يوضع له الطعام وتقام الصلاة لا يأتيها حتى يفرغ منه وإنه لا يسمع قراءة الإمام. متفق عليه. The Ibn Umar said, Nabi Akram says that when the supper of one of you is put down and salah is established, the iqamat for the salah is given, then start with the supper and do not hasten until then start with supper, and he should not hasten until he is finished from it. And Ibn Umar the food used to be placed for him and iqamah salat used to be established. Then you not come to it until he was finished from the food, and indeed you would be listening to the recitation of the imam also, right? So this here refers to the situation when a person is very hungry and he knows now that if I'm going to start with salah, then I will my concentration won't be in that salah. But if a person is not so hungry, then he should join the Jamaat Salah. Right. When Aisha radiallahu anha قالت سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول لا صلاة بحضرة الطعام ولا هو يدافع الأخبثان. رواه Muslim. Aisha radiallahu anha she said, Nabi Akram saying, there is no salah when the food is present, and neither whilst the two khabith, that is urine and excreta, is going to finish his salah. In others, it's going to break his concentration. So if he needs to really go to relieve himself, then he must rather relieve himself, and then if he gets a salah, well, and if he doesn't, then he makes his salah afterwards. But he shouldn't, whilst he really pressing need to go to toilet, he now joins the Jamaat, and he finds himself now, you understand, thinking more of of trying to finish quickly because he needs to relieve himself. Right. So all this will apply also. These 2 points here will apply when there is time left. If there is no time left, then he should try and finish his salah before the time runs out. When Nabi Hurairah radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallam, إذا أقيمت الصلاة فلا صلاة إلا المكتوبة. Rawah Muslim. Abu Hurairah said, Nabi Akram says, when the Iqamah is given for the salah, then there should be no salah except the farz salah. In other words, now you will go straight and you will join the farz salah. So in this hadith, you understand now that a person now shouldn't be reading any sunnats once the Iqamah is given. However, the exclusion, and this is what Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi says. Imam Bani rahmatullah says only the two sunnats of Fajr. If you have yaqeen that if I do the two sunnats of Fajr, I will still get one rakat of the Fajr Salah, then he must make should do the two sunnats of Fajr first, because of the emphasis that has been laid upon that has been put upon the two sunnats of Fajr. وعن ابن عمر رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا استأذنت امرأة أحدكم إلى المسجد فلا يمنعنها متفق عليه. Nabi Ibn Umar said, Nabi Akram says, when a woman of one of you seeks permission to go to the masjid, then he should not prevent her. Right? Imam Nawawi rahmatullahi says this is karahat tanzih. In other words, the prohibition from preventing her is makruh tanzihi. Right. So, and then the latter ulama, they've all said now that because of the fitna, for the woman shouldn't be coming to the masjid. As Ibn Mas'ud, in fact, in his time already, he said that that it is mentioned that he would stop the woman from coming to the masjid, except the old women. The old women he would give permission, and he would also say that they must come in their work clothes, meaning like old clothes, right? So from this we can understand that if the old women come in without putting makeup and without dressing provocatively or in fashion, etc., then they can come to the masjid, right? وعن زينب امرأة عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله قالت قال لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا شهدت إحداكن المسجد فلا تمس طيبا. رواه Muslim. Zainab, the wife of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, said that Nabi Karim said to us that when one of you come to the masjid, then she shouldn't apply perfume. Nabi Hurairah radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah ayyuma imratin asabat bakhuran فلا تشهد معنا الإشاء الآخرة. رواه Muslim. And Abu Hurairah says, Nabi Karim says, whichever woman puts some bakhur, then she shouldn't witness with us the Isha Salah, right? So bakhur is that it's a perfume smoke, right? And yeah, that's the meaning of bakhur. And why do they say the Isha Akhirah? In other words, Isha Salah. Right? Why they say? Because then it's dark and it's fear of fitna. Fear of fitna. Right. Otherwise, like it for all the salahs, it will apply. When Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallam la tamna'u nisa'akum al-masajida wa buyutuhunna khairul lahun. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, Nabi Akram said, do not prevent your women from the masjids, and their houses are better for them. Right. Narrated by Abu Dawood. ابن مسعود رضي الله قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صلاة المرأة في بيتها أفضل من صلاتها في حجرتها وصلاتها في مخدعها أفضل من صلاتها في بيتها. رواه أبو داود. Ibn Mas'ud said that Nabi Akram says the salah of a woman in a house is better than a salah in a courtyard, and a salah in her bedroom is better than a salah in a house. Narrated by Abu Dawud. So this hadith, what it shows you, that the further a woman goes into seclusion and reads the salah, the more reward she'll be getting for Salah, the better will her Salah be. You understand it? So this whole the afdaliyat for the woman is to recite Salah in the furthest corner. You understand? And that is where she will be getting the most reward. Okay, leave it till there.